Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today. My name is Erica, I'm with UMBC Recreation, and today I'll be teaching core yoga. So if this is your first time with me today, this class is structured very much like a vinyasa class. If you've never taken yoga before and you don't know what I'm talking about, no sweat, this is easily modified for beginners. However, the main difference is that I'll be using yoga poses to target the core, as well as traditional exercises like crunches to really target that area. With that being said, I want to remind everyone to always listen to your body. If you're tired, take a break. If something doesn't feel right, stop. And if you have any existing medical conditions, make sure you check with the doctor before you start any exercise regimen. So let's get started. We're going to get started in a standing position at the top of our mat. So go ahead and place your feet about hips width distance apart. Stand up nice and tall out through the crown of your head. Arms are down by your sides. Shoulders drop down the back. Make sure tailbone isn't pointing up towards the ceiling. Instead, it's stretching nice and long towards the floor. And gently pull the belly button back towards the spine. Take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Bring your hands to your hips for me, so elbows are out facing either side of the room. Give a little pressure down on the hips to find some length at the sides of the body. Slowly drop your chin to your chest. We'll start our warm-up working with the muscles in the neck. And then tilt the head up, looking up towards the ceiling, chin tilts up. And chin back down to chest. One more time. Nice and slow, gazing up. And chin to chest. In a clockwise direction, let's start some neck circles. So head slowly rolls all the way around. If you find an area that feels kind of tight, you can hang out in that spot for a second or two. We'll take 3 to 5 circles here. Try to tie the movement in with your breath. Inhaling as the head comes around the back. Exhaling as chin comes down to chest. Finish up the circle that you're on, meeting with chin at center of chest. And switch directions, counterclockwise. Inhaling as head comes around the back. Exhaling as chin comes down to chest. I'm going to take one more full circle here. We'll all meet with our chin back to our chest. Lift your head so you can look forward. Draw the shoulders up to the ears and roll them down and back, working with the shoulders now. Nice big circles. Up to ears and down the back. Make sure to reverse direction, so shoulders come up to ears and around and down the front. And find some stillness, standing nice and tall, hands stay on the hips. Gently press the hips out to the right side of the room. Let the upper body fall to the left. Into a side bend, we're gonna hold here. Draw the belly back to the spine. Make sure you're creating length on the left side of your body as well. So you don't want to crunch into that left side. Length on both sides of the body. Deep breaths into the chest. Slowly shift the hips so they're stacked again underneath the shoulders. We'll press the hips to the left, taking a side bend over to the right. Keep your chin lifted from the chest. Keep your belly active. Just warming up the core a little bit here. And slowly come back to center. A few inches from your waist, I want you to hinge forward. We're going to make some circles with our waist around our hips. Start in a clockwise direction. Be careful as you come around the back. Try to keep some lift in the chest. So we're still working with the core here. Warming up the belly. And the next time you come around the front, I want you to slow it down in reverse directions. Take it counterclockwise. Finish up this last circle. Stand nice and tall at the top of the mat. Slowly begin to bend the knees and lower to forward fold so belly comes down to the thighs. Let the arms hang heavy, head hang heavy, and we'll take a few breaths here. It's important that your belly is nice and close to your thighs, so if it's far away, go ahead and bend the knees and drop the belly down more. That forces us to get a little bit of a compression and protect our low back. Make sure the weight is shifted into the balls of the feet and not heavily in the heels. And just shake your head a few times. Make sure the neck is relaxed. Draw low belly in. And keep the hips lifting tall to the ceiling. Slowly rise to half lift, flattening the back, bringing hands to the shins. Legs can begin to straighten. One at a time, we'll bend the knees, switching back and forth. Still getting a nice stretch in the back side of the legs. If your hamstrings are pretty flexible, you're more than welcome to bring your hands or your fingertips to the floor in half lift. But if you try and you notice your upper back rounds, then you need to take it back a step. We want nice, long, flat backs in half lift. Bring the movement to a stop and step back into a plank position. Bend the knees if you need to, plant the hands, and step back into a traditional plank. Slowly drop the knees to mat and come into tabletop. So wrists should be stacked under shoulders and knees stacked underneath the hips. Lean forward so that shoulders are out past the wrist. And then lean back, bringing the hips down towards the heels. Hips don't have to come all the way down, but maybe they do. We take a lot of planks in class, so we're just going to start to warm up the wrist. Come back to tabletop. Again, leaning forward, doming the upper back, and then pressing the hips back, maybe all the way down to the heels. One more time, back to tabletop. Leaning forward, doming the upper back, and pressing the heels, or the hips back to the heels. Meet me back in tabletop. This time we'll gently shift to the right, and to the left. Back and forth. Back and forth. Find stillness in your tabletop. With your right hand, we're going to flip the palm, so top of the hand now comes to the mat. And then flip it back. A few times. And do the same with the left hand. Extend your right leg long behind you, keeping heel in line with the hip, and lift up to the fingertips. Bend the right knee so toes are up to the ceiling. We want to activate that glute, so squeeze that right glute nice and tight. Give me a crunch, so draw the right knee towards the chest, round the spine, lifting the knee nice and high, as close as you can towards the face, and step the foot into lunge. Ankle should be right below the knee. If you don't step the foot into alignment, manually grab it and place it there. Slowly lift both arms overhead. Draw the thighs actively towards one another for stability. Drop the shoulders down the back. Find some length on the sides of the body. Take a few deep breaths into your chest. If you're not experiencing any lower back pain and you would like to add a little bit of a back bend, we're going to gently press the hips forward as we lift the chest up to ceiling. Make sure belly is pressing back towards the spine. If it's any type of uncomfortable in your low back, take a step backwards, come out. Let's all bring our hands back down to the mat. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose and let it out through the mouth. Extend your right leg long behind you, point through the toes, keep it active, and return to tabletop. Same thing on the left. We'll extend that leg, keeping heel in line with hip. Bend the knee, squeezing the glute. Give me a crunch, knee to chest, round the spine, lift that knee nice and high, and step the foot through to lunge. If those crunches feel really easy to you, you're more than welcome to take crunches with your hands flat. I'm probably going to talk it through with fingertips, but just as a reminder, hands flat if you want a little more active in the belly for your crunches. Slowly lift both arms overhead and we'll hold here, nice long sides. Few deep breaths into the chest. If you're opting for back bend, hips come forward, chest lifts to ceiling. Belly should be active. We'll all lower hands down to the mat. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and let it out the mouth. Extend left leg long behind you, point through your toes, and return to tabletop. Give me a cat pose, rounding the spine, tucking the chin to chest. Then lift and arch the spine into cow. One more time, rounding to cat. Arching to cow. And we'll settle into tabletop with hands flat if they're not already. Bring elbows down to the mat, stacked under the shoulders, palms face down. So we're in puppy pose, and let the head hang heavy. This is a rest period anytime in the class if you need it. Some of us may prefer to find child's pose, sitting the hips all the way back to the heels, separating the knees so we make some space for our belly, forehead to mat. Whichever feels most comfortable for you. We'll finish our warm-up here. Taking a few deep breaths. Take note of how you feel in your body. Slowly rise back to a tabletop position. Extend your right leg behind you and bend the knee. Lifting up to fingertips for our crunches if you prefer fingers up. Give me a crunch, knee to chest, round the spine, and step that foot into lunge. Tuck the left toes onto the mat and lift that knee into the air. Make sure right knee still stacked over the ankle. Step up to half lift, so stepping up to the top of the mat and flattening the back. Lower to forward fold, bending knees, dropping belly to thighs. And one vertebrae at a time, we'll round our spines until we're in a standing position. Give me a nice deep breath in through the nose, lifting arms out at your sides and overhead. Exhaling hands together, down through heart center, and releasing arms at your sides. So now we're gonna start to pick up the intensity a little bit. I'm gonna show you our plank sequence for the day. We're gonna use that a few times throughout the practice. So I'm gonna demo first so that you guys just know where we're at, and then we'll tie it into the sequence. So just watch me this first time through. As I promised, we do lots of planks in this class. So we're going to start in a traditional plank to start our plank sequence. Shoulders under, or wrists under shoulders, heels in line with hips in line with shoulders. Core is active, whole body is active. I'm lifting out of my shoulders. I'll give us a countdown so you know when it's coming up. I'll say something like plank sequence starts in 3, 2, 1. Today we're going to take side steps. So I'll step one foot off my mat and step it back into position. Other foot off and back into position. So we'll do side step, crunch, and crunch. When I crunch, notice I'm rounding my spine and lifting up, drawing the knee to the opposite armpit. Aim for the armpit even if you don't get there. Crunch, notice how I'm lifting away from the mat. I'm getting a little bit of lift, really activating my core. And crunch. So we're going to do that 3 times through. So I'll demo in real time so you guys know where we're going. Side step, crunch, and crunch. Side step, crunch, and crunch. Last time, side step, crunch, and crunch. After that, we're going to drop into a forearm plank. We'll hold it here for 5 seconds. We'll release onto our bellies, and we'll take it from there. At any time, please feel more than welcome to drop your knees to the mat and take a rest. If it seems like it's too much, drop your knees, skip around, hop back in when you're ready. It's your practice. Please don't feel any type of way if you have to modify so that you're practicing safe in your body. So let's get started. Stand at the top of your mat, get any jitters out of your body, feet or hips width distance apart. Stand up nice and tall. We're going to start with some sun salutations. Slowly lift the arms overhead and lower to forward fold. Belly drops down to thighs. Let those arms and head hang heavy. Rise to half lift, flatten your back, and step into a plank position. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Side step, crunch, and crunch. Keep it going. Side, crunch, and crunch. Last one. Side, crunch, and crunch. Take your forearm plank. Holding for 5. Don't hold your breath. And release to the mat. Uncurl the toes. Hands are face down, elbows up to ceiling. We'll gently lift the chest into baby cobra, using the strength of your low back, so no pressure in the hands here. And we'll press to child, hips to heels. If puppy was more comfortable for you, you're more than welcome to take puppy pose here instead. Take a few deep breaths. Slowly rise to tabletop. Extend your left leg behind you and bend the knee. Give me a crunch, knee to chest, and step the foot through to lunge. Get the right knee off the mat, step up to half lift, flattening the back, lower to fold, belly to thighs, and one vertebrae at a time, we'll rise to standing. Again, slowly lifting arms overhead, and lowering to forward fold, belly to thighs. Rise, half lift, and step into plank. Starting in 3, 2, 1, side step, crunch, and crunch. Keep it going. Take your side steps. Keep those knees nice and high. Last time through, crunch and crunch. Give me a forearm plank. Holding here for 5. Don't hold your breath. And release. Inhale to lift the chest, baby cobra, elbows up to ceiling. And press to child's, hips to heels. A short breather here. Fill up the body with breath. And slowly rise to tabletop. Extend your right leg behind you, bend the knee, squeeze the glute. Give me a crunch, knee to chest, and step the foot through to lunge. Step up to half lift, so knee lifts, and we flatten the back. Lower to folds, belly to thighs. and slowly rise to standing. One last time through, slowly lifting the arms overhead. You guys got it. Lowering to forward fold, belly to thighs. Rise, half lift, flatten the back, and step into plank. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Side step, crunch, and crunch. Side step, crunch, and crunch. Last time. Give me those crunches and find your forearm plank. We're holding here. If you want to amp your forearm plank up, continue the side steps. That's up to you. Slowly release to your mat, let go. Inhale, lift the chest, and press to child's. Nice deep breaths here. Forehead to mat. Take your rest period. Slowly rise to tabletop. Extend left leg, bend the knee, and give me a crunch knee to chest. Stepping the foot into lunge. Step up to half lift as you draw the breath in. Exhale to fold, belly to thighs. And draw the inhale out as you rise up to standing. And then exhale at the top. Give me a nice deep breath in through the nose. Lift the arms overhead. Exhale, hands together and down through heart center. And release arms at your sides. Make sure you're standing at the top of your mat, feet hip width distance apart. We're going to change it up a little bit this time. Give me a nice deep breath in, arms overhead. Exhale out the mouth to forward fold. Inhale, rise to half lift. Exhale as you step into plank and drop the knees to tabletop, so knees to the mat. Extend your right leg behind you. We're going to flex the foot, so pressing out through the heel, still keeping it in line with the hip. We'll extend the left arm forward into sunbird, thumb facing up towards the ceiling. And we'll hold here. In sunbird, we're engaging our core. We're working a little bit on balance as well. Try not to hold the breath. And make sure you're gazing down towards your mat so we have a nice, long, flat spine. Bring just the hand down to the mat. Point through the toes and bend the knee. We're going to take 3 crunches this time. As you exhale, draw the belly in and draw knee to chest. Inhale to bring the knee back up. Here's 2. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale. Last time, knee to chest, hold here, don't hold the breath. See if you can lift that knee a little higher and get the foot through into lunge. Lift up to the fingertips. Tuck left toes onto mat and get that knee into the air. Pressing out through left heel. If the left leg feels really tight, you can keep a slight bend in the knee. Slowly lift both arms overhead. If you need help with balance, bring the hands to the thigh first and then get those arms up into Anjaneyasana. Right knee stays stacked right over the ankle. Find some length on the sides of the body. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Keep that core active even here. As we exhale out through the mouth, bring hands or fingertips down to the mat. If you want some ease in your legs, you can drop the left knee to the mat now and uncurl the toes. Otherwise, that knee stays lifted. Inhale as we lift the right arm up to ceiling into twist. Keeping the belly drawing in, breathing deeply into the chest. If you have the left knee lifted and you're like, this does not feel very good, you can always drop that left knee now. You can always do things on your own time. Bring that hand back down to the mat. Plant the hands flat and step into plank pose. We'll take our plank sequence in 3, 2, 1. Side step, crunch, and crunch. Keep it going, knowing that you can always take a break if you need to. Give me those last set of crunches and find your forearm plank. Up to you if you're taking those side steps. Don't hold your breath. and release. Inhale to lift the chest, and exhale to child's hips to heels. Take a much needed break here. Maybe rock the body gently side to side. And use all that space on the back side of your body. Fill up the breath there. Take note of how you feel in your body. There are no right or wrong answers. Slowly rise to a tabletop position. Extend the right leg, bend the knee. Give me a crunch into lunge, and we'll stand up to half lift. Hands to shins, flatten the back. Lower to fold, belly to thighs, and slowly rise up to standing. Take your time. Draw the breath in through the nose to lift the arms overhead, and exhale to fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale as you step back into plank and drop the knees to tabletop. Extend the left leg behind you, pressing out through the heel, foot flexed. Right arm forward, thumb up into sunbird. Gaze is down towards your mat. Take a few breaths here. Bring just the hand down to the mat. Bend the knee, squeeze the glute. Lift up to the fingertips if that's how you're taking your crunches. Exhale, give me one crunch. Inhale, lift the knee. Exhale to 2. Inhale. Last one, holding here. Drawing that belly in, lifting that knee high. Don't hold your breath, and step the foot into lunge. Lift the right knee off the mat, and slowly lift both arms overhead. Anjaneyasana. Holding here. Exhale out the mouth, bringing hands down or fingertips down to the mat. Dropping the right knee now if you want ease in the legs. Draw the breath in and lift left arm up to ceiling, twisting from belly, keeping belly active. Gaze is up towards the upraised hand. Exhale out the mouth as fingertips come back down to the mat. Step into plank and plant the hands flat. Plank work in 3, 2, 1. Side step, crunch, and crunch. Side step, crunch, and crunch. Last one. Keep those knees high. Find your forearm plank. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release down to the mat, let go. Inhale, lift chest. Exhale to child's. Take your rest here. Slowly rise to tabletop. Extend the left leg behind you. Bend the knee. Give me a crunch into lunge. And step up to half lift as you draw the breath in. Exhale to fold. And draw the breath in as you round the spine up to standing. Exhaling at the top. Take one hand to your heart and one to your belly. Drop your chin to chest. Maybe close the eyes. Just take a second here to be present in your body. Let me start to slow down our practice. Slow down our heart rate. Just focus on your breath. Lift your head to look forward, open your eyes, and lower your arms down by your sides. Draw the breath in, lifting arms overhead. Exhaling out the mouth to forward fold, belly to thighs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale as you rise to standing, nice and slow. Exhaling at the top. This time, try with the eyes closed, so gently close the eyes, stand up nice and tall. Draw the breath in through the nose, lift arms overhead. Exhale to fold, belly to thighs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold. And we'll take a few breaths here. Don't hold the breath. Keep the lower belly pulling in. Keep hips lifting to the ceiling. And one last time, rise to half lift. Maybe the eyes open. Step back into a plank position. We'll take our last plank work here in 3, 2, 1. Side step, crunch, and crunch. 2 more. And then we're done. Side step, crunch, and crunch. Take your forearm plank. In our last forearm plank, we aim to hold for 15 seconds, but if you're tired, feel more than welcome to lower down now. I've already started counting. Make sure you're not holding your breath. We've got another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Oh, let go. You guys deserve it. Bring your toes together, but let the heels fall out. Arms along the sides of the body, palms face up, and turn your head to one side so you can rest on your cheek. We'll take a rest period here. Wiggle the shoulders down the back, and gently close your eyes for the next few seconds. Gently turn your head to the opposite side. Eyes still closed. Slowly bend the knees and windshield wiper the feet, letting them fall side to side. Just working up any tension you might have built in the low backs, especially if we took some of those back bends at the start of class. Nice and slow, feet side to side. Lower the legs back to the mat. Bring your chin to mat, place hands under shoulders, and press to rounded child's pose. So arms along the sides of the body, chin tucks into the chest, forehead to mat, and let the shoulders melt down towards the floor. If you're uncomfortable in this version of child's pose for any reason, you're more than welcome to take another variation. Nice and slow, begin to lift upright. Swing the legs down the full length of your mat so that you're sitting flat on your sits bones. Keep the feet flexed, preparing for rounded back stretch. Lift the arms overhead, tuck chin to chest, and round the spine, lowering hands to knees, pointing elbows out to either side of the room. Melt the shoulders away from the ears, and we'll take a few breaths here. Vitalizing the vertebrae in our spine. A lot of sensation in this pose is totally normal. Maybe you're stretching some muscles you didn't even know existed. The key is to take nice deep breaths. Find that you have trouble doing so, ease out of the roundness in the spine just a little bit. Okay, now here for another 10 seconds or so. Slowly start to straighten the spine. Place your hands on either sides of your hips. Get some length through the body, out through the crown of the head, and relax the spine to neutral. Bend your right knee, placing foot to the mat. Use your left arm to hold on to that leg. And we'll open up into spinal twist, placing right fingertips directly behind us and gazing out over right shoulder. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall, twisting mainly from the belly, maybe a little from the ribs. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. As you exhale out the mouth, slowly unwind, coming back to center. Straighten the leg down the mat. Left knee bends, right arm holds on, opening into twist, gazing out over shoulder. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth to unwind and straighten the leg. Make sure you're sitting in the center of your mat. Bend the knees so feet are planted flat to the floor and hold on to the back of your thighs. Nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time. We're going to round our spine until we're flat on our back. Nice, slow, and controlled so that we're activating the core, asking it to work as it holds us up until we're flat on our backs. Knees are still bent. Place the arms wide at your sides, palms face up. Just take a few breaths here. We're nearing the end of our practice where we have to find a little bit of stillness and be comfortable in that stillness. We're just having a little practice run right now. straighten your legs onto the mat. Draw right knee in towards the chest. Keep the foot flexed. Hold on right below the knee and pull the thigh nice and close to body into Appanasana. Both feet are flexed. If you feel any discomfort holding on at the knee, you can hold on to the back of the thigh instead. This pose is great for our low back, great for our digestive organs. We'll hold for a few breaths here. If you'd like to add a little bit of a hip stretch here, you can draw the knee out towards right armpit. Still giving a little pressure, keeping that thigh close to body. I love a good hip stretch. We tend to hold a lot of tension in our hips. So it's great to get a little release in that area. Gently closing the eyes for now and just focusing on the sensation in the body. Gently release right leg onto the mat. Eyes still closed for now. Draw left knee into the chest. Same thing, holding on at the knee and feet are flexed. Opening up the hip a bit if you choose to do so. Gently release leg onto the mat. Draw both knees into the chest, and we'll hold on to the back of the thighs for now. Keep feet side by side. Give a nice pressure, pulling thighs close to body. And if you want a little more sensation, you can hold on at the knees and press down. Place your arms at shoulder height, palms face up, down on the floor. Just a few inches at a time, we're going to slowly let the knees fall to the right side of our body. We'll hold for a second and draw the knees back in. Just ending with a little bit of core work. So you don't want to let the knees fall too far that you're feeling discomfort in your low back. Just let the knees fall a little bit to the left until you feel the core working to hold the knees up. Hold for a second and draw knees back to center. So you'll notice it doesn't take very much. Again, over to the right and back to center. To the left and to center. Again, over to the right, up, over to the left, and back. One last time, over to the right. And slowly make your way over to the left. And knees meet back in center. Spine to recline spine with knees all the way over to the right, as low as they'll drop down. Maybe knees touch the floor. Keep the knees and feet stacked, and gently turn your head to the left. This is our last pose before our final resting pose. Maybe close the eyes again. you happen to be feeling any discomfort here, lower the knees away from the hands. Draw the knees into center. Let them fall over to the left as head turns to the right. Keep your right shoulder pressing firm into the floor. Draw the knees back to center for the last time. Wrap your arms around the legs, pulling them close to your body. Lift your head to meet your knees. Take a nice deep breath in. Hold at the top. Squeeze everything nice and tight. Squeeze your legs, your fingers, your toes, the muscles in your face. And as you exhale out the mouth, release to lay flat on your mat. Separate your legs and your arms nice and wide. Turn the palms face up. Eyes are closed. And bring your attention to your breath. We finish our practice here in stillness. We work to tire out our body so we can turn that focus inside. Give time to be with our thoughts. Follow the natural pattern of your breath. Each rhythmic rise and fall of your chest. Separate your upper and lower jaw. And drop your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Relax your brow. Your arms sink heavy to the floor and back of your head. Let your chest and your hips sink heavy onto the mat. Thighs, calves, and heels all melting onto the floor. slowly begin to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Welcome movement back into your body. Gently roll over to the right side of your body. Take a moment of stillness on your side. Eyes still closed. Use your arm to support your head as a pillow. Keeping your eyes closed or your gaze low to the floor, gently press yourself up into a seated position. As always, we'll end class with 3 cleansing breaths together as one. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Today we'll take a 4-count breath, so we'll breathe in for a count of 4, and we'll exhale for a count of 4. We'll take 3 rounds. So exhale all the breath you have out of the body. Draw the breath in through the nose, 2, 3, 4, and out the mouth, 3, 2, 1. Breath in, 2, 3, 4. Breath out, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in, 2, 3, 4, and breath out, 3, 2, 1. Give thanks to your body and your mind for patience and determination through this practice today. And I want to thank you for letting me lead you on this practice. Namaste. So thanks for practicing with me today, you guys. I know it was a tough one. I was tired, but we got through it, and we got through it together. So thanks so much. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, please feel free to reach out in the comments. I can't wait to see you guys next time.